I'm looking through you. Where did you go?
So we're going to look at wide angle forward fold, and we're going to look at it in terms of some of the misconceptions. The idea being that we think we have to get our head to the floor no matter what. And really what this pose is about is finding the engagement of the legs, the lift through the legs, such that you get enough space that the pelvis can tip over and keep the spine extending. In fact, all the way until you get your pelvis over 90 degrees, you're not even supposed to change the shape of the curves of the back. So a big part of this pose as a standing pose is to get the legs engaged and to create lift in the legs. It's that lift in the legs that allows you to move further into the pose. What most of us do is we send the hips back to counterbalance, and we think that's going to get us over. What it really does is allows you to not have to work very hard, but eventually it's going to trap you. What will happen is, as that head of the femur comes further and further back, and you're trying to take the pelvis, this is your pelvis, isn't that a good illustration? As the head of the femur starts to come back toward the pelvis eventually is going to get trapped because it's pressing against it. You really need to have that femur centered in the pelvis. So, in order to work with straight legs and not get trapped here and actually engage them, we need to bring the shins vertical. We want to line up the ankle and knee so that if I dropped a plumb line from my knee, it would line up with my ankle. Now my butt gets left behind and my legs are bent. But we've been told we want straight legs here. We do. We just don't want straight legs by locking back. So, shins are pressing forward. Hamstrings are going to start to extend up, bringing the top of the thigh forward, bringing the hips in line with the ankle and the knee. Legs are straight now. Guess what? They're also working really hard. I have a whole bunch of leg muscles engaged here. So that's easy for me. I've been doing this for a long time. How do you do this without somebody telling you where your legs are? Well, you can go use a mirror, but you can also more simply grab some blocks. Line the block up with the back of the heel, and you don't want the calf muscle to get behind the heel. So your calf muscle should be where it is. If I start to take my knee back, boom, the blocks go over. The other option here is to give yourself a target for the shins. Instead of giving them a non-target, don't touch the block, we're going to give them a target to push into. Place your hands on the front of your shins, press your shins into your hands. Now my calf muscles start working, and then lift those thighs behind you. Legs are working really hard, again, because that's the point of the pose. And as you see, the pelvis keeps being freer to move over, more free than when I'm back here, and you can see it pull back. I bring my legs into alignment, pelvis extends. I also talked about extension of the spine and maintaining these curves in the spine at least to 90 degrees. If you're somebody who doesn't have a lot of flexibility and the pelvis stops about here, even when you're using the legs, this is it then. We don't want to then lose the back and try and get the head down, even though the pelvis doesn't move. We've lost all the curves here. This torso needs to maintain these curves and reach out through the head. So if I can get over a little further, still, I'm not going to take my head, curl it toward the floor. I'm going to reach out through the crown of my head. And if I go further, I'm still reaching out and out. I don't, at some point, curl my head in and push my head back between my legs. I'm reaching out through the crown of the head, lengthening the spine. Every yoga pose has lift in it and has an extension through the spine. In this pose, the legs lift, the spine extends at whatever angle. And therefore, this is Prasarita Padottanasana. This is Prasarita Padottanasana. This is Prasarita Padottanasana.
This is Prasarita Padottanasana. At the very end, as my spine gets truly vertical, now I can curl that head a little bit to take the head toward the floor. I'm not shortening the front of the body though, I'm extending. Myths busted? Misconceptions cleared up? I hope so.
With any luck, as you continue to work with Prasarita Padottanasana, wide angle forward fold, a couple things might start happening. One, you might start using your legs a bit more. Two, using your legs a bit more will start to bring you deeper into the pose. And three, you'll have compassion for yourself, understanding that until your pelvis is ready to move, until your legs are really fired to give you the space for the pelvis to move, your pose is where your pose is. And as long as those legs are lifting and that spine is extending, that pose is good. For those of you who are discovering that you like this work and you'd like to go deeper into Eischens Yoga, find a teacher near you. Go to eischensyoga.com and see if there are any Eischens Yoga teachers in your area. If you find yourself in the Twin Cities, come take my classes and workshops, or contact me for a private individual session. Lastly, if you really like this stuff, you can become an Eischens Yoga geek. Soon, we're going to have a t-shirt for that.